So check this out, guys. We have been commissioned by the local Fatz Cafe to do 5 shirts and a chef jacket pocket with this right here. This is a PNG that was sent to me by the Fatz Cafe representative that we're working with. And this is so cool. This is cool. This is definitely one of those projects where you think there's some future projects to come about, as long as it's a good one. So I'm going to do this in inkstitch, just like I do everything in inkstitch. There's a few places on here where I think we're going to have to do a couple of tricks that I haven't showed you yet. This A is interesting. Then we'll measure for the lettering down here. Let's go to it. I'm going to fire up Inkscape. And I'm going to close everything out that I have a shortcut to make me show you where it's at. That way there, I don't forget to tell you where it's at because I actually have to go get it. So that's actually a good thing. Alrighty, let's, we already have a 4x4, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure we have 4" by 4", which is, I believe, is a 101.5 by 101.5 millimeter. It's awesome. And for example, this shirt here is a 4" tall. I don't want it to be much bigger than that. I think our hoop will accommodate 110 by 110 mil, so it's a little bit bigger than a 4". But we'll go with 4" because that's what I like. We're going to, I can close that out because I don't need it again. We're going to go ahead and import. I'm going to import that Fatz logo. Move that into place. I'm going to set this lock right here so that it doesn't change perspective. So that the perspective, that keeps perspective. So like I've done before, I'm going to go ahead and take some measurements here. I want to see how big that C is across. Oops, wrong one. Measure tool. Click and drag. 1 millimeter. Cool. I'll actually probably go a little bigger. Okay. We can go a little bigger and make it look very similar. This one's going to be a little bit of an issue. We can make it work. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to work on making that outline. I'm going to do it the little shortcut way that I like. Oh, I need to bring up path. No, objects. I need to bring up objects. And click on the image and turn that opacity down a little bit. Now we're good. Now I can click on that and go ahead and make this. Now, my expectation is I'm going to do this all the way around, and when we convert it to a satin stitch, it's going to break it at some point. When we accidentally hit a number. When we turn it into a satin stitch, it's gonna kind of break it apart into 2 or 3 different sections on us. I'm going to show you how to get those sections back together and turn it back into a one-piece object. Because that can be a little annoying. Right to there. Then we're going to set our, hit enter. Go ahead and draw that out. Now we're going to go into path, object, fill and stroke. Now we can set our no fill, stroke paint black, good. And see what our width here is. About 4.4. So 4.4 should cover it up. Outstanding. Sweet and sweet. A couple of places I need to curve. Okay, we can go with that. Now we're going to go ahead and turn that into satin stitch with Satin Tools, convert line to satin. Now we go click back on my objects and notice not only did it turn it into one or two more paths, it turned it into that many paths. So yeah, and this right here is a mess. Sometimes inkstitch does that. You'll just have to go in, try to figure out what's going on. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to delete a whole bunch of stuff. Yep. Just delete that one altogether. What a mess. And then we can come in here with our draw it tool and we can add right on to where we were. Bring that around, and we won't be able to connect it yet, but we'll get pretty close to it. We'll connect it shortly. Okay. Now let's draw a couple of rungs in here. I'm going to twist that over, and then we're going to go straight. I need to twist this over to start the curve, and then we'll grab this and we'll bend it over a little bit. So it's probably not considered a, yeah, it's probably I probably need to do a combine now. Okay, we're going to select all of it. I'm going to go into edit, and nope, path, simplify. Keep an eye on your piece to make sure it doesn't completely wig out when you do that, because sometimes it will. Okay. So let's see. Let's do a path combine. And then extensions, inkstitch, params, satin column, custom satin column. Let's see what it looks like. So there's a whole lot there it doesn't like. And I need to, I'm going to go ahead and undo. So let's start here. I'm going to pull that over so that it's got that angle on it. Grab that, pull it over, grab that, pull it up. And then it stops right here, which should be that one. It is. So I'm going to select both of those. I'm going to select both of those nodes and combine into one. Select both of those nodes, combine into one. So now it's on this one and this one. Nope, no, it's not either. Oh, okay. Shift click. Yep. Multi-select shift click. What is that? Why is that not? Okay. That way. And then we'll join these two. And then we'll join all three of these. Okay. Okay. And then the next one goes up. And we'll go ahead and combine these two. This might have been one of those cases to where it would have been easier to manually draw it out. Perhaps. Still combine, see what it does. Outstanding. We are there. Okay, apply and quit. We're going to move some of these nodes around a little bit, like this one. And I realize there's some curve on that. It won't hurt anything. Then I'm going to grab this one. And scoot it down. And do this one the same way. Grab this one. Move it over here. Okay. And need to pull that over. Alrighty. I believe we have a working start. I think I got a little too much curve right. Yep, I sure do. Breaking that up a little bit. Okay, that should do it. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go index to params one more time. And we're going to set an outline or a contour. I guess that one should have a contour. That one should have a zigzag, actually. Yes. Go ahead and apply and quit, and we are done with that one. So to get the desired outcome that I'm looking for, I'm actually going to create these letters by hand. We're going to start. Zoom in here. We're going to start right here. Right here. And we'll go into the letter a little bit. And then here, now those two get combined. And they get turned into a satin stitch. Being that the letter is big enough, is as big as it is, we're going to go with a zigzag underlay. And we're going to go with a 0.3 peak to peak, or density, also known as density. And then we're going to come out of there and we're going to go out, up, and over with a running stitch. So that's when you go into fill and stroke and you set a dotted line. Just like that. Now, we will make our piece here. We're going to go to about here. And no. We're going to go ahead and come over. And I missed the mark. Okay, that's better. Go ahead and come over to there. Grab that one. I'm pushing Control to make sure I'm true horizontal. Grab that one. We're going to grab those last two paths. Path. Combine. Extensions inkstitch params. And satin at 0.3 with a zigzag. But what I'm looking for is where that cursor ends. It ends on top. I need to switch that. So hit apply and quit. While we still have it highlighted, we're going to go into extensions inkstitch, satin tools, flip satin column rail. Go back into params. And now our cursor should end on the bottom. As it does. The reason that I wanted to do that is because I want it to just pick up right where it left off, right there where that one ends, and just go ahead and start that satin column going down. That's one way to do that. And I'm gonna have to move that. Actually, we can do it right about there, I believe. Push that control button to make sure it's straight and level. Zoom back out a little bit. And straight and level. Put a combine on that. Extensions inkstitch params. Custom satin column. Ow. Yep, that's what happens when you don't combine. I'm hitting the wrong button. So path, combine, extensions inkstitch, params, satin column. Yes, they do. They certainly do. They have a different number of points. It is absolutely correct. Okay. Now, let's try this one more time. Combine. And go to params. Give it a satin column. Now we're cooking. 0.3 and a zigzag underlay. Hit apply and quit. Now, these 3 paths are all, nope, 4 paths are all part of the F. I'm going to go ahead and select them all and group them together. Now, I can just take that group and preview it. I can also take that group from the group option and apply any params that I want to the group as a whole. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, the A is going to be interesting because it's so tall and so narrow. But I have a plan. Let's go ahead and I think I'm going to do this manually again. We're going to go to, no, we're not either. We're going to start right here. And we're going to make sure we're into the letter a little bit. Hit enter. And then I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate that because I want it, oops. And then I'm going to hit Control while I drag it up to make sure it drags straight. I'm going to have a little bit of overlap, but I want it to stay, I want the stitching to stay horizontal. So they need to be the same length. And then we'll combine those together. Path combine. And go into inkstitch, params, satin column at 0.3, zigzag underlay, hit apply and quit. We're going to come out of that. We're going to do a manual running stitch to go from about here down to there. Go back into fill and stroke, make it a dotted line. It tells inkstitch you want it to be a running stitch. And from there, we're going to come up and we're going to only go up to about here. And on the other side, grab that. We're going to go up to about the same exact spot. And grab both of those. That's very close. So that's good. Grab both of those. Path combine. And extensions. Inkstitch. Params. Satin column at 0.3. Zigzag underlay. Apply and quit. I'm going to do a running stitch, come up and around. And down to the bottom of the other side of the A. Hit enter. Dotted line. Outstanding. Now we're going to grab what we already did over here. I'm going to hit D for duplicate. I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to press Control so that it goes in a straight line. We're going to just pull those over here. And that one's done. Well, the A is not done. That part of the A is done. And now I need to check that. I need to check that to see where the I need to see where the cursor stops. It needs to be on the right hand side. It is not, so we're going to go ahead and flip that satin rail. Extensions, inkstitch, satin tools, flip satin column rail. So now it's ending right here, and I can pick up right there with the next part of it. I'm going to actually feel the need to move that out a little bit. Okay, I feel better now. And then we're going to go into just below it, go all the way up to the top. Enter. We're going to go just right on the edge of this one also. Go all the way up to the top. Enter. Grab both of those. Path combine. Extensions inkstitch params. So let's go back into our objects. This one was the F, so every bit of this should be the A. We're going to go ahead and group that together, and then we're going to visualize it to see how it looks. And you can visualize it when you're doing this in params or in the visualizer. Visualizer might be just a little bit more visual. Sure, we'll go with that. Yep, I like it. I will probably have to do a test run and adjust that so that to make sure that those come together proper. But yeah, I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and visualize everything that we have so far. Run it out at the end here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Do need to remember to put a couple of trim stitches in, but that looks pretty good. And I don't have anything for color set. Yeah. Guess I could go ahead and do that. Just with those first two, I guess. Yeah. Push the shift and then hit the color. Yeah. Okay. Do feel the need for those to be a little bit more lined. Theoretically, with a satin stitch push, it should be fine. Okay. On with the show. I'm going to speed this up. something else I need to do is the ink stitch lettering. I want to see what the params say on that. We are at 0.4. We've got a 0.2 pole comp and a center. What is that? Contour. Got a contour. I'm going to uncheck the contour and we're going to do a center walk. Hit apply and quit. That looks good for a test run. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to save. Make sure you always save as. Make sure you always save as an SVG. Because in inkstitch, it's very difficult to change it once it's an embroidery file. If you save the SVG, you can just jump right in and pick up right where you left off and make any changes you want. So always save it as an SVG, please. And now that I've saved it as an SVG, I'm just going to change the file extension to what we need. If you need a PES, do a PES. We do DST. Even on our brother machines, we do DST around here now. That we have a machine that only uses DST so that we can mix and match machines as needed. DST will work on your brother machine. So now that I have that, I'm going to find my trusty USB stick. Okay, trusty USB stick. I'm going to mount and to open. I'm going to grab that Fatz DST, copy it, bring it down here, throw it on this little USB stick, paste one file. Make sure you safely remove. On some machines, it's called eject, whatever it is in your case. And now I'm going to go stitch it out. So check this out. That's not bad for a first run. I need to bring the top of that A down a little bit, bottom of this T up a hair, shorten this column right here in both directions. Maybe nudge that over a little bit, and we're going to make this cafe a little thicker. I'm actually going to make the 2 bars here a little thicker too, and I didn't do jump stitches between these on purpose because it's that small satin stitch lettering. If you cut stitch in between each one, it tends to foul up a little bit easier. So doing that will help it not foul up, basically. Okay, so let's go do I actually made this shorter. I actually did make this shorter. I need to go to my objects layer here. Okay, that's that one. So I need to shrink that down in both directions. Should I use that? Perhaps. Yes, I think I should use that. And then I can just ease this down just like that. By about that much. And then we'll come down here and we'll do the same thing with this one. Ease that one up. Outstanding. Okay. Maybe not enough. I don't know. We need to do the same thing here. And I'm going to push the control button so it goes straight up. I'm going to select this one by itself and take it up by itself just a hair. Because in our example, I took away the example already, didn't I? And that one. In our example, it looks a little lopsided on the bottom, so we're going to straighten it back up a little bit. That looks good. That A needs to come down. So let's do that. Just going to grab those two nodes on the top. And yeah, hit the control button and bring them straight down. That's all I'm going to do. Just like that. And then this needs to, both of these need to go over just a hair. Just like that. So that is all of our adjustments there. We're going to come in here. I'm going to select path and lettering and path. I used control and multi-clicked to get all of them. And I'm going to go into params, inkstitch params. I'm going to cheat just a little bit on making everything a little bit wider of a satin stitch. I'm going to cheat just a little bit. We're going to do a pull comp. The lettering is already pull comp 0.2. And I'm not going to do it by much. We're going to go 0.3. Applying. Oh, 0.31. I hit that one by accident. My finger got tired, I reckon. Not much difference between 0.3 and 0.31, right? Not much difference at all. We're going to check that out. We're going to try that. The cafe part won't be a whole lot thicker, but the other two will. I should go 0.4. That might be too much. Okay, we're going to try that. We're going to try the 0.4. I'm going to leave just those three things highlighted. And then we're going to do a simulate just on those things. And fast forward that puppy. Looks good in the, it looks pretty good in the simulator. I'm going to leave that. And we're going to do another test run tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and publish this. And if you want to see what the results looks like, I will publish the final result on lowtechlinux.com. Yeah. Other than that, if you like what I do here, please like and subscribe and make an old trucker happy. Until next time, thanks for watching.